Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Literature of World of Warcraft. In this episode, the book we'll be covering is called The Emperor's Burden. This piece of in-game literature is actually split into 8 different parts found as clickable objects in places across the continent of Pandaria. The first book can be found at a shrine near the center of the town of Dawn's Blossom on the lower level of the pond. The second one is located leaning against a tree at Seeker's Point, around halfway up Mount Everest and central Kunlai summit. The third book can be found just to the left of the entrance of the Temple of the Jade Serpent dungeon in the Jade Forest. The fourth book is at the top of the stairs on the second floor of the Temple of the Red Crane in Krasarang Wilds. The fifth entry is located on the upper terrace of Niu Zhao Temple in Townlong Steppes. Part 6 can be found in front of the main building in the Temple of the White Tiger in Kunlai Summit. The seventh book is located just southeast of the main entrance to the Shado-pan Monastery. And the final book can be found on a bell shrine in the Summer Field in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. Interacting with all 8 of these lore objects will give the player the achievement The 7 Burdens of Shao-Hao, further increasing reputation with the Lorewalker faction. Like last time, I will leave a link to a reading of this story in the description, and without further ado, let's jump into the summary. The first entry of the Emperor's Burden tells of a young Emperor Shao-Hao on the day of his coronation. As was the tradition, Shao-Hao visited the great Water Speaker of the Jinyu, who would look forward to the future, hopefully telling of a long life for Shao-Hao and prosperity for Pandaria. Instead, the prophet's eyes widened. In his vision, he had seen the Night Elven kingdom around the Well of Eternity far away. The Night Elves were summoning terrible demons, and the skies rained fire. The vision ended with the sundering of the entire continent of Kalimdor. It was with this news that Shao-Hao decided it was his destiny to go on a journey and save Pandaria. Within the second book, it tells of a forlorn Shao-Hao climbing the harsh Mount Everest to seek the counsel of Yulan, the Jade Serpent. Upon reaching the peak where he finally found quiet and solace, the Spirit of Wisdom urged Shao-Hao to divest himself of his burdens, to purify his spirit, and to become one with the land. Shao-Hao didn't quite understand the advice, but since the wise spirit wasn't offering any further answers, the disheartened emperor ventured back down the mountain and met up with his companion, the Monkey King, in order to figure out what to do next. In the third excerpt, Shao-Hao meditated for 3 days and nights to attempt to understand what the Jade Serpent's advice could have meant. Was it really possible to purge oneself of all doubt? The young emperor asked himself. The Monkey King, becoming increasingly impatient, whittled a grimacing face out of bamboo. The Monkey King told the emperor to put the mask on his face as a joke, but when Shao-Hao pulled the mask away, all of his doubts took on a powerful physical form, a Shah. The 2 companions battled the Shah of Doubt for 7 hours before it was defeated and buried. From then onward, Shao-Hao knew that he would succeed. He gained faith. In the fourth entry, Shao-Hao was brimming with confidence after defeating the Shah of Doubt, but he was worried about the uncertain future. He traveled seeking the advice of the Red Crane, the Spirit of Hope. Deep within the Krasarang Wilds, the young emperor listened as the wise spirit told him that hope was in all of us if you look deep enough. Following the Red Crane's wisdom, the Monkey King brought forth a mask bearing a forlorn visage of terrible sadness. The emperor donned the mask, and with the aid of the Monkey King, as well as the Red Crane, he fought the Shah of Despair for 4 days and 5 nights until it was vanquished. Shao-Hao had gained hope. In the fifth book, the emperor had hitherto gained hope and faith, but was still plagued by fear. Shao-Hao, now accompanied by the Red Crane, sought the advice of the great Black Ox Spirit, the spirit of bravery and fortitude, The four discussed the nature of fear at great length until the Monkey King had finished carving the mask of fear, which Xiao Hao put on with trembling hands. Legend says that the battle against the Shah of Fear lasted a week and a day, at which time the sun never rose. Upon the creature's defeat, Xiao Hao was forever changed, gaining courage. The sixth excerpt tells of a confident and fearless Emperor Xiao Hao, who, at the behest of the Red Crane, visited the White Tiger, the spirit of strength. Zuen identified a dangerous recklessness residing inside Xiao Hao that often accompanies those with no fear, and decided to give Xiao Hao a test. The young emperor was given a 10-foot pole and was challenged to strike one of the White Tiger's warriors. For hours they fought. The warriors still proved too quick and agile for the untrained Emperor Xiao Hao. In a fit of furious rage, Xiao Hao broke the staff over his knee. Having now been humbled by the White Tiger, the Emperor was told that his own passions made him weak, and if he was to save Pandaria, he would need to combat his own anger, hatred, and violence. The Monkey King carved 3 masks, which the young Emperor wore in turn. With the aid of his friends, as well as the White Tiger's mighty warriors, the Shah of Anger, the Shah of Hatred, and the Shah of Violence were defeated and imprisoned beneath the ground. The Emperor set forth on the final leg of his journey, now a creature of patience, love, and peace. The 7th book states that the shado-pan order was founded 10,000 years ago under the supervision of Xiao Hao, mere hours after his fierce battle with the 3 Shah. This order was created to train Pandaria's greatest warriors to restrain the Shah and keep them imprisoned. The 8th object tells an epilogue of the wise Emperor Xiao Hao, witnessing the ground tremble and the skies alight with green flame. Xiao Hao, however, was not afraid. His mind was clear of doubt and despair. He feasted and sang as the sky tore open. His subjects fared worse than he, and he could see the fear and doubt in their eyes. The Emperor offered a proclamation that one should live each day to its fullest and sleep each night with the peace of a mind unburdened. After the feast, legends tell of Xiao Hao ascending to the Terrace of Endless Spring to separate Pandaria from the rest of the world, but try as he would, he was unable to do so. Xiao Hao began to doubt, and the Shah of Doubt began to emerge from the east. He began to fear, and the Shah of Fear began breaking loose of its shackles to the west. Xiao Hao called out to Yu Lan in desperation. The Jade Serpent appeared before the Emperor in his time of need. She offered that Pandaria was more than just the Pandaren Empire, that Xiao Hao's enemies were just as much a part of this land as he and his peers. The Emperor, having now understood the connected nature of all things, let his spirit become one with the land. Pandaria began drifting away from the continent of Kalimdor, and as his staff and robes fell to the ground, Pandaria became enveloped in impenetrable mists, hiding away from the rest of the world for thousands of years to come. Pandaria did eventually regain contact with the other races of the world in current times, of course. The Pandaren people even tutoring other races in the way of the monk. The Shah did come back during the Mist of Pandaria expansion, due to the Alliance and Horde outsiders bringing their negative emotions onto the newly rediscovered Pandaria. However, the Pandaren, in league with the outsiders, did battle with and defeated the Shah once again over the course of the expansion. This story, like others in-game, may not be heard by many due to the out-of-the-way nature of the things you need to find in order to read it, but I feel that The Emperor's Burden is an enjoyable story to read despite its elusiveness and an arguably tame overall narrative. And now time for the rankings. I'd give The Emperor's Burden a 3 out of 5 for story, a 3 out of 5 for length, a 3 out of 5 for imagery, and a 3 out of 5 for personal enjoyment, with a total score of 12 out of 20. Overall, I enjoyed this story, but unless you're going for the achievement, I'd say just read it online. With that being said, thank you to everyone for watching, and have a great day.